Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ramadan Kareem, everyone. Welcome back to the English Fun Special Edition of Ramadan with us Bu Ati and Mbak Anggi.
Hi, nice to see you again, Bu Ati.
Nice to see you too.
Okay.
And still about Ramadan, we are going to talk about some do's or some things that are recommended to do during Ramadan or during fasting.
Yes. First one, of course, besides fasting, we talk about here, like the recommended practices, right? The first one is to recite the Quran. What does it mean? It means that you read the ayahs of the Quran in any time, right? Yeah, after breakfast, before going to work, before going to school, during the break, anytime, like you can recite the Quran. And especially, it's also recommended to understand more the translation and the definition of each ayahs. Am I right?
Yeah, by reading the translations either in Bahasa or in English.
Yes.
So
if you want to practice more, read the translation in English.
Yeah. So reciting Al-Quran is actually not only recommended to do during Ramadan. It's again a daily basis practices, but during Ramadan the reward multiply.
Yeah, it's much higher.
Yeah.
The second one is do dhikr, or in Bahasa Indonesia zikir, right? So you can do dhikr after prayers, each prayer, the 5-time prayer, or actually anytime. Yeah, actually anytime.
While doing any other activities.
Yes. While waiting for the bus, waiting to be picked up by your parents, or like
So
anytime.
This is like an alternative practice for people who cannot perform prayers or who cannot fast due to some reasons, or cannot recite Al-Quran, like some women who is getting their period or their menstruation. They can do this dhikr anytime,
So
anywhere.
although you're not fasting because you're having your period or something, you can still do practices like this, do dhikr. And right now you don't need to like bring like tasbih. It's for us the youngsters, it's a bit like old-fashioned, but right now you can use the electric tasbih counter when you just press each button each time you say your dhikr. So
The one you put on your finger.
Yes, on your finger. So it's really simple, it's really helpful, and yeah, it's not old-fashioned. Probably like maybe teenagers are afraid to be judged by like, you're too.
You look.
Yeah, you look like when you're bringing your tasbih, but that's okay. You can always use the more modern one.
There is one digital counter too
digital
on your
counter.
handphone actually.
Yes.
For those who feel shy, maybe to be seen in front of other people, like counting the dhikr, so you can secretly count yourself the dhikr by using your cell phone. That is this application and the cell phone actually. You find out later.
For Quran also, right? You can download a special application like Quran Digital or something, and you can access it anywhere, anytime on your phone. So right now it's really easy to do our practices. So there's no excuses.
Such a thing like I don't bring Al-Quran with me.
Yeah, I don't bring Al-Quran. This and that. No.
Okay.
it's just your excuses. So it's easier right now. So just please do this.
As long as you want to do that, you almost have everything facilities you need to do reciting the Al-Quran or do the dhikr.
Yes.
Okay.
The third one.
The third one is, of course, the opposite of doing the bad deeds is to do the good deeds. So what is the good deeds? Everything that is liked or loved by other peoples, like smiling,
it's simple.
to other people, helping, or what is it, being kind,
always.
saying something sweet.
Yes.
And
Even good deeds are not only for us humans, but also for all the living creatures like
animals.
Not throwing your rubbish anywhere.
Cleaning our surroundings, our neighborhood is also a good deed.
Yeah.
Preventing ourselves from littering around is also a good deed.
Yes.
Okay. And then other kinds of good deeds is actually also charity or donations. But especially during Ramadan, charity and donations are highly recommended because our Prophet Muhammad also multiply his donations during Ramadan.
You can do it from like in mosque or anywhere, right?
Okay.
And last but not least, of course, prayers.
Prayers or sunnah prayers.
Yes.
Are the mandatory prayers. So for those who are not practicing the sunnah prayers on the daily basis or in other months, you can start doing the sunnah prayers during this Ramadan. And of course, if you do not practice praying or prayers, you can just stay in the mosque with the intention of i'tikaf or contemplation. So you are doing some reflective thoughts during your silence in the mosque.
Yeah, it's very positive and it's very
Beneficial
advantageous
for our spiritual and physical well-being.
Yes.
Yeah. So stay tuned for the continuation of our talk about Ramadan in the next segment. Hi everyone, welcome back to the English Fun special Ramadan edition on the second segment. Still talking about Ramadan.
Yes. Here we're gonna talk about some exceptions. Who can skip the fasting or something like that?
Yeah.
Are there any like special requirements or
special conditions for some people who can make up their fasting outside Ramadan month?
And the answer is yes.
Yes, there are some exceptions, of course, for some people with special conditions. And the first one is for those who are having health reasons, like maybe they are suffering from serious illnesses that need to be hospitalized, or not really hospitalized, still treated at home, but
the
conditions is too risky to do fasting because they need nutrition or maybe water to recover from their sickness or illness. So those people are included in the exceptions, and they can make up the fasting when they feel healthy, and they can make up the fasting after Ramadan.
Yes. And the second one is safar or traveling. For those who are in the middle of traveling or safar, but it's do they have like certain amount of or like certain distance?
Yeah, of course. So it is discussed in some literature that the minimum distance that is allowed for travelers to break their fasting or to skip their fasting is 88 kilometers. It is like from Central Java maybe to Jakarta.
Yeah. But although those people are allowed to not fast, but some of them still do fasting, right?
Yeah. Which is better than to skip the fasting because fasting during Ramadan, of course, will bring different values from fasting outside Ramadan month.
And the next one is pregnancy. So for pregnant women out there, you are allowed to skip Ramadan fasting because sometimes it's risky for you and your baby. So Islam is allowed people or women who are pregnant to not fast during Ramadan.
Yeah. So for women who are pregnant with their babies, if they feel worried about themselves, so they have to make up their fasting outside Ramadan. But if they skip the fasting because they feel worried about their babies, they can replace the fasting with paying some donation or charity.
Yes. And the fourth one is those who are doing breastfeeding. So it's the continuation of the pregnancy, right?
Yeah.
After
almost the same case.
Yeah, almost same case. After giving birth, and then women usually breastfeed their babies. So for those who are breastfeeding the babies, you're allowed to not fast during the Ramadan, and as the you need to pay, right?
Yeah, it depends on the cause. If it is because of your condition, your bad condition, so you have to make up the fasting after Ramadan. But if it is because of the baby, so you can replace it by paying fidyah or donation.
Okay. And the last but not least, for those who are forgetful, what does it mean, Bu Ati?
It happens actually, in real life. It often happens, especially for the beginners or those young kids who start fasting in their early age. Sometimes they forget if they are fasting, so they accidentally drinking some water or take some food to eat, and then they forget that they are fasting. So in this case, the fasting is counted.
Still counts,
if the reason is because of forgetting the condition, it is not lying or faking the forgetfulness. So the fasting still counts, but you cannot continue eating or drinking when you recall that you are fasting.
Once you remember that you are fasting, you need to like stop eating or stop drinking, and then you
or even spit it out.
Even spit it out right away.
Right away.
And then you have to continue fasting right away as well. So there's no reason, I forgot, I will continue eating. No, because when you forget, it's just actually for a little amount of like food, maybe like one bite, maybe I forgot, and then that's okay. But if you continue eating, it's a different case. So yeah, like that.
So, and the one that I haven't written here is for the women who are having menstruation or getting their period.
Yes.
So they are mandatory to skip.
Yes. So it's a little different. It's
a little different.
Yeah.
It is not exception actually, or it is not a bonus, but they are not allowed to do fasting.
Yes.
And they have to replace or make up the fasting after Ramadan.
Yes. So
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the conditions. And Islam is really kind to us, like but they don't Islam doesn't push us to do fasting in whatever condition. No.
And consider us as human with limitation.
Yeah, they give us exceptions, but again, it's us who are understanding ourselves. If we are capable of doing it, just do it, right?
Yeah. Okay. Stay tuned for the next segment, still about Ramadan vibes. Hi everyone, welcome back to the final segment of this episode of Special Ramadan with us. And this time we are so excited to tell you about our childhood memories about Ramadan.
Yeah, we're gonna do some recalling.
Yeah, some
flashback of our memories.
Yeah. Ramadan has always been very beautiful moments for children.
Yeah, yeah, you can always feel the vibes, right?
Yeah, and this feeling of wanting and not wanting to do the fasting.
Yeah.
When we were child. That is very common. I mean, you do not want to feel hungry and thirsty, but you feel ashamed of not fasting and being known for not fasting by your friends. So that's kind of challenge for children when they start learning to fast during Ramadan. And do you have any stories to share with the viewers at home about your childhood memories during Ramadan, Mbak Anggi?
Actually, I still feel lucky because I get to start fasting from like very early, probably like the first grade of elementary school.
Oh, that's very early, I think.
Yeah, I'm
quite
so
early.
lucky. Yeah, I'm so lucky because I get to do fasting like when I was in first grade, and then from what I recall, I had no like serious trouble or what is it? Something that makes me break my fasting.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So you start learning of the fasting by doing it full time.
Yes.
I mean, from the dawn until the sunset.
Before elementary school, actually, I started to like
train yourself.
Yeah, train myself by Javanese people call it puasa beduk.
Yeah. Fasting half day.
Half day, yeah. So I would eat and drink when it is duhur, and then I would continue fasting until maghrib. And then thankfully, when I start elementary school, alhamdulillah, it's pretty like good, I would say, because and one thing, actually I don't want to be like, I don't want to brag myself, but it brings like so much, positive values, because by starting fasting earlier, I can do like sunnah fasting as well from elementary school.
Wow, amazing, isn't it?
But I feel shy, like the Monday and Thursday fasting.
Sunnah fasting.
Yeah, sunnah
wow,
fasting.
amazing,
Like that.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Because I started to do the Sunnah fasting maybe when I was junior high school. For elementary school, I only did the mandatory fasting during Ramadan. And I think every child in Indonesia, or especially the Muslims one, always have beautiful memories during Ramadan and their fasting stories, especially because in Indonesia we have this culture of ngabuburit and takjil. Yeah,
all kinds.
So something that maybe cannot be found in other countries. So as you all know that ngabuburit is kind of fun activities done together between friends or families by like killing their time, shopping for food, snacks, preparing their meals, or even just maybe taking a walk. Taking a short trip to some destinations, making them feeling fun while waiting for Maghrib.
Yes.
And from what I remember during my childhood memories is that when I was fasting, I was told to not do this, not do that, remember not do this and not do that. What can you remember that your parents told you to not do and to do?
For kids, the most common thing I guess the parents would say is that you cannot eat, you cannot drink during fasting. The basic things are those two: don't drink and don't eat, something like that.
You must not eat, you must not drink, and you must not sip the water after you brush your teeth.
Yes, or when you're doing your wudu.
When you are doing your wudu and then you wash your mouth, you cannot take a sip of the water.
Yes.
So it will break your fast. Because sometimes children who are still learning doing their fasting, they will secretly and silently sip the water from water from their washing their mouth or brushing their teeth.
And interestingly, when we talk about this, that you said you must not do, you must not this, we can also like learn, because we have expression also in English, but I think must and must not. So let's talk about this.
So must is actually something that you have to do, and if you do not do that thing, you will get some consequences.
So for expressing something that is mandatory, you can say must.
During Ramadan, we must fast.
Yes. And the formula here is just subject, must, and then followed by
verb infinitive.
Yes.
And the same as must not.
The negative form is
the
just
prohibitions. Something that is prohibited, we can say using must not.
Yes.
We must not what during Ramadan?
We must not eat, for example.
We must not eat during fasting.
Yes. So simple. Just put not here between must and then the verb infinitive.
easy, isn't it? So
Yes.
by learning about Ramadan, we also learn some simple grammatical rules using must and must not. Okay, I think that's all our talk about Ramadan with English fun. This episode, we hope Allah will accept our prayers and also our fasting. See you again soon after
Yes.
Ramadan, maybe on the Lebaran episode with us, Bu Ati and Anggi, in the English fun program with Temanggung TV.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Wassalamualaikum.
wabarakatuh.
Ramadan Kareem everyone.